Hey, English 102, welcome to week 2. This is the week where the real work begins. We will begin our team research project, which you will be working on for the next 6 weeks. So let's get started. All right, so we're still pretty early, so I'm going to start at the beginning. Here we are in Brightspace. I am going to hit that first link that says content, and we really want to start with our class calendar, which lives in our Google space. So here I am opening it up. As always, you'll see that the current week is always available to you at the top. We are in week 2. So I got a really good email from one of your fellow classmates that said, hey, Shantae, is there a checklist somewhere, the things that we're supposed to do each week? And I'm like, yeah, there should be. And there is. This is the way I view the checklist, right? So all of these things that are here, this is your checklist for what you should be doing this week, if that makes any sense, right? And then the bottom, where it says Monday, items due, are the things that you need to submit. So do, submit, check those boxes kind of mentally as you're looking at our calendar. So I want to start by saying there are a bunch of videos for you to watch this week about rhetoric, about research, about bias, about research questions. Most of these videos are fairly short. They're like 3 minutes on average, right? Some of it will be things that you have heard before. Some of it will be things that are brand new to you. What I ask is you watch it once. If it's something that you've heard before, you're familiar with, great, check that box, like I just said. If it's something new to you, you may want to watch it again, this time making annotations or taking notes. In addition to that, you're going to read chapter 1 in our textbook. So if you haven't got it yet, this would be a great opportunity to stop by the bookstore. And then we have our things to submit. This week's discussion board post, which we're going to get to in just a second. And of course, our team project, which is where I started this video. Okay, let's go. I am going to go back to Brightspace and do discussion board first, because we already know how to do this. This should be fairly easy. I'm going to scroll down. So it says week 2, right? Okay. Just like I said last week, there will be one each week. There will always be instructions on what I want you to post, both in the message box and in the subject line. This one is all about where you get information from. Research is the core component of this course. It's what makes English 101 different from English 102. So we have to first start with like a self-diagnostic. If I'm honest with myself, where do I get my information from? That is what this whole entire post is about. So that's the first thing that you have to do before Monday. Now, let's get to our team projects. I am going to go back to that content tab. This time I'm going to hit the link that says our Google Class space and go all the way into our Google Class space. Again, there's a couple of things here. Your calendar, your course outline is here. We are going to go where it says student work folders, and this is section 6. When you open it up, you'll see that I've divided the class into 4 teams. You should be able to tell your team by finding your name. So if my name is Bradley, I'm on team 3. Hi, Bradley. Sorry, I just needed somebody to use. Go into your team folder. You'll see in each team folder, there's a document that literally says start here. Open it up. In these folders, each team member has editor's rights. That means you can add or take away anything that is in this document. Please be careful. Read all of the instructions on how to use the document so that we are all on the same page. The first thing I tell everybody is each member should choose your own color to write in, all right? Don't use red. When I have something to say, if I have something to say, I'll jump in there in red so that you know it's me. But beyond that, you should include your name, what color that you're going to write in, and then you can use this space to communicate. Let me be clear. I own this Google Doc. If something gets erased, I can go back and see what was there previously. I can restore it. I can see what everyone contributes. But it will not give you a notification system in any kind of way that someone has posted or has not posted. Looking at this doc regularly in the next 3 or 4 days is your responsibility. I expect that every team come up with a way of communicating with each other. At minimum, you can agree to check this doc very often, or you can agree to exchange emails, phone numbers. Y'all can do a whole TikTok thing. You can use Discord. I don't care how you decide you want to communicate, but no, the group project is required. It is a significant portion of your grade, and that I expect everyone to participate. Those are the things that are required here. With that said, these projects turn out awesome, like hands down awesome. And you can probably see some of that if you've looked at some of the examples that are posted in our examples folder. Okay, so this is our doc where we're going to do all of our brainstorming and planning. So in this part where it says contact information, that's where I want you to jump in here and type your name, your color, and whatever you feel comfortable sharing. If you don't feel comfortable with sharing, don't put it here. The next section you see here is called proposal. This is where you all are going to put the final decisions that you make. So I'm going to skip this for a second and go down to the red part that says notes, right? You even have one for me that says, hey, I suggest you start here by typing in, look, maybe we should work on this, or maybe we should use this as a topic, whatever it is that you would like to do for your team project. Everyone will have to come to a consensus. So my suggestion is that you put in here what you would most like to do. Remember, last week you were responsible for looking at the assignment. So I know this week you already know that your topic has to come from a current law or policy. Laws are easier to think about. We know what laws are. Some of us have even been arrested before, right? We know if that sign says 25 hours on the speed limit, that's a legal law. If we break it, there are consequences. And there are all kinds of different laws and ordinances. They live on the books of the cities and the states and the countries which have passed them. Sometimes we think something is a law that is not actually a law. For example, there's this whole thing called Don't Say Gay that happens in Florida. That is actually not the name of any law or ordinance, right? They have names, they have things. So I suggest you think about if there is something that you want to do and do it. Questions that I get. Does it have to be local to where I'm at? No, but it's a good idea that it is. Should it be specific? Absolutely. Please look at the video that says drafting good research questions. Right? All of that is possible. It doesn't have to be a law that you agree with. Sometimes these work better when it's laws that you disagree with. All I suggest is that it's something that you feel strongly about. It can also be a policy. The difference between a policy and a law is that laws are normally taken care of by government entities, whereas policies are not. They're established organizations. We are all in attendance at SWIC, right? SWIC has policies in the Student Code of Conduct. It has policies in each of your classrooms on your syllabi. These are the rules which govern that particular institution. A lot of you have jobs. They have policies. You can do this, you can't do that. There are not legal ramifications for those policies, but often if you break one of those or don't meet those policies, you lose access to that organization. All I ask is that whatever you pick lives somewhere. The very first thing you will have to document is, where is this law or policy stated that I can look at it, right? Where can I see it? Where can I read it for myself? So keeping that in mind, look at some of the examples that are posted in our folder. I've had the most weird and interesting and cool stuff done in this. I've had groups that worked on policies in particular professions dealing with dress codes or hair codes. I've had almost every headline case. I can't think of it. What's the one? Gypsy Rose was the one that I got last week, and or last semester, and I'd never heard of that case before. One of the examples even deals with a law case, or a law dealing with Alec Baldwin and the recent controversy of the murder that was committed on set. You can pick anything that you want. Very often, I get awesome projects that deal with educational policies. That makes sense because, hey, education is a big part of all of our lives right now. We are literally in college. So you have lots of things to choose from. Throw a couple of ideas out here in the doc and let's see what your group members like. Also, there are things that other people won't love, but you will love. Please keep in mind that in this class, the first half is the team project and the second half of the class is an individual project. I don't imagine that all of us are going to get our first choice. I am hopeful that everyone in the group can at least come to a consensus of something that they like, keeping in mind that if it's something that you love so much you can't help yourself but to do a project on it, that probably sounds like what you should work with in the second half of the semester. All right, so with that said, and that was a whole mouthful, that is what you're working on this week. Your discussion board, your videos, your reading, and talking to your group mates. Anyone that has not posted in that doc by Monday is going to have problems in this class. So make that your priority. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and have fun here in week 2.